Hey folks, it's David Smith at Correctional Officer Lifestyle. I'm here to welcome you to another video of Correctional Officer Lifestyle. In this particular video, I'm going to be discussing why we search. Okay, it is a common theme amongst corrections agencies throughout the United States of America, both private and state run, that inmates get searched. The reason that we search is multifold. I have a computer set up here to my left, so if I look to the left, it's because I've got my notes on my computer, because I want to make sure that I hit all of the high points of why we in corrections search. Okay, first off, there are many different kinds of searches. Okay, there is a common area search where you're going into an area of the dormitory or an area of your compound that is a high traffic area. It is a common area for inmates to be present. The medical lobby, the classification hallway, the day room of the dormitory, or your TV room as some people call it, your recreation yard, your bathroom area. Anywhere where the inmates have frequent access to, that is a common area. That is one of the places that you want to search. Okay? An inmate's housing assignment. I don't know about any other agency but the state of Florida. And in the state of Florida, we refer to an inmate's area as his house. That's where the inmate lives. That's his house. So if you hear me talking about an inmate's house, I'm talking about his bunk, his footlocker. If he's in a secure cell housing unit, his cell. Okay, I'm talking about his house. You're searching that area. You're searching his footlocker. You're searching his bunk. You're searching the sink, the toilet, the floor, the window, the heater unit, anything else in that cell or that area that the inmate has access to. You're searching it. Okay, another type of search that we have in the Department of Corrections is a clothed pat-style frisk search. Okay. That's where the inmate is clothed and you're searching with your hands over that inmate's clothing, searching for contraband hidden underneath the clothing. It is by far the most common type of search in the Department of Corrections is a pat search. And it's the one that we do the most frequently because it is the one that can be done anywhere. Anywhere the inmate is present, a pat search can be done. The last type of search, and possibly the most intrusive type of search, is an unclothed body search, also referred to as a strip search. And that is where we check all areas of the inmate while they are unclothed. It is not a physical type of search. It is a visual search. We are not going to place our hands onto an unclothed inmate for the purposes of searching him. It is all done visually. That being said, those are the types of searches that we routinely engage in. So why do we search? We search to discover contraband and to make sure that it is removed from a compound. Definitions of contraband range across the board, but by and large, contraband is anything that an inmate did not get issued to him by the state, i.e. by an officer, was not able to purchase in a commissary, or the canteen as we refer to it in Florida, was not able to be purchased through an outside vendor and sent to the inmate. We had, for a little while there, the Union Supply Company was sending inmates packages that their families would purchase for them. None of that would be considered contraband because it came from an approved source and the inmate is allowed to possess it. So you're looking for those forms of contraband. Now, going on to my next topic is we search to make sure that we recover anything that the inmates can harm each other with. Okay? Obviously, we're not going to take everything that an inmate can harm another person with because he has to have a padlock to put on his locker. And he has to have socks to put on his feet. And if you take a padlock and put it in the bottom of a sock, it's called locking a sock, and it's one of the most dangerous weapons inside a correctional facility. We're obviously not going to take their padlocks, and we're not going to take their socks. However, if they tear apart something metal, something wood, or something plastic and fashion it into a homemade weapon, i.e. a shank, or some agencies refer to it as a shiv, it is basically a homemade knife that the inmates will attempt to harm themselves with or harm others with. We obviously want to remove that contraband, because if we don't, then we are negligent in our job when the inmates do harm themselves or each other with those type of weapons. We search to make sure that we recover anything that will alter an inmate's mind. Drugs of various forms. In the street and in the prison system right now, K2, spice, that is the absolute worst thing that we have got a hold of, because it severely alters the inmate's mind. They are lacing it with any number of other substances, and some of the substances that they lace it with turns it black, some turns it red. They smoke this stuff. We had a rash there for a little while of them putting wasp killer or rat poison in it and smoking it. And they get extremely violent, and because they are altered state, they don't know the limits of their own strength, and they are almost impossible to deal with. Any of that garbage that we can recover and get out of the prison system is for our benefit. Of course, there's got to be a pipeline for them getting it in. If I knew what it was, I would stop it. Every pipeline that we find coming in, we stop it. They find another way. Just a little side note here. I've often heard it said that necessity is the mother of invention. That is an untrue statement, or at least an incomplete statement. Incarceration is the mother of invention. Make no mistake, incarcerated people can invent some of the most ingenious things on the planet. We search to make sure that we recover anything that would uncover a dirty staff member. I mentioned pipelines coming in. I'm not saying that this is a very often occurrence, but if you read the news that's put out by some of these news agencies, or you watch the news, you inevitably hear about correctional officers getting pregnant from other inmates, correctional officers bringing other inmates things, correctional officers doing this, correctional officers doing that. And while it is a very small percentage, it puts a light on all of us. So anything that the legit correctional officer can do to point a light at a dirty staff member and get rid of them is a good thing for us to do, okay? So if we find intelligence that would help us uncover dirty staff members by searching an inmate, then by God, I'm going to search inmates. Okay, we search inmates so that we can recover plots to harm officers. We routinely find kites. We refer to them as kites. They're notes. They're little folded up pieces of paper. They're about this big, that the inmates write one another, talking about, we need to take out these people. We need to take out this people. There's a kill on sight order for this inmate. They often include staff members, because there is no honor amongst the inmate population anymore. Gangs will kill their own members just to elevate themselves. And they attack officers pretty regularly nowadays. That's another thing that you see in the news. Correctional officer injured in stabbing. Correctional officer beat down. Correctional officer this, that, the other, what have you. Okay, we had a colonel killed on a canine run because he was trying to apprehend 2 inmates that had escaped, and they gunned him down in an ambush. Any intelligence that we can find that will protect correctional officers, I'm going to search inmates. If I can find it there, I'm absolutely going to search inmates. I'll search inmates from the time I come to work to the time I go home, if it will allow me to find that intelligence to save an officer's life. Okay. We also search inmates to make sure that we recover any plots by the inmate population to effect an escape from our custody. The inmates are put there for a reason. They are not put there by the correctional officers that watch them. They are not put there by the administration of whatever facility they are in. They are put there not by a judge even. They are put there by a jury of their peers. So I can honestly say that the inmates that are in the Florida Department of Corrections are in there because society wants them there. Because society has put them there. A jury of their peers has placed them there. They have found them guilty of the charges that were brought against them, and they were placed into our custody. We have to make sure that they stay there. Okay, we absolutely have to make sure that they stay there. And lastly, this is the last point that I'm going to hit in this video. We search to make sure that we recover any intelligence from our gang population. I just went to a meeting that revolved all the way around gangs and security threat, individual security threat groups, any group or individual that threatens the security of our institution in the form of a gang. One of the things that was said in that conference, or in that meeting, was gangs and members of the gang are some of the most organized people on the planet. They can, just about any of the gang members can tell you, even if it's a 40-page manifesto, they can tell you that 40-page manifesto verbatim because they live that gang. Any intelligence that we can get through a search to help us to deal with the gang population in the facilities is of the utmost importance. It is vital. That's why we search. That's why we search. Information is power. Knowledge is power. Especially inside a correctional facility. The more I know about a gang and how they perform and how they act and how they think, that is the better I can protect the staff members that work with me. And the better I can protect the inmates that are not affiliated with that gang. And the safer that I can make my environment. So if searching gives me that knowledge and gives me that intelligence and gives me that power, I'm going to do it all day, every day. I'm going to search. Okay? That's all I got for this video, folks. Now, if you like the video, if you think that the knowledge in this video is important to you, please make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more, if you are a correctional officer and you want to see more, especially if you're brand new and coming into the system, coming into the job, occupation, that's the word I was looking for, coming into the occupation, definitely hit the subscribe button, okay? Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications of when I post new videos. And if you have a question about what I just said, or if you have a comment, or especially if you have a story about a search and something that you uncovered during the search, I'm asking you not to air your agency's policies and procedures. I'm asking you not to air anything of a sensitive nature, and I'm asking you not to air anything that would violate an ongoing investigation. But if you have a story about something that happened to you and something you found during a search, hit me in the comments. Let me know. I want to hear about it. I'll get back to you just as quick as I can. All right. As always, there is no place for domestic violence in this world. If you are the victim or you know the victim of domestic violence, get them some help. Get yourself some help. 1-800-799-SAFE, the domestic violence hotline. You give them a call. The people at the other end of that phone call can help you. They have the tools, resources, and ability to help you. Okay? If you know the abuser, remember that the worst thing you can do is nothing. Say something to somebody. And if you are the abuser, there's help for you too. You don't have to live this way. First thing you got to do is understand that you need the help. Second thing you got to do is ask for it. This is David Smith, the Correctional Officer Lifestyle. Remember, love shouldn't hurt. I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. Y'all be safe behind the fence. I'll see you in the next video.